Welcome to the game.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. This is going to be kind of the first video out of two on how I went about building the Rumbleslam Superstar Ring and a lot of the trials and tribulations I had with it. Discovered about halfway through the project that I probably did it the wrong way. But here you go. Here's all the different pieces laid out. The four sides of the ring, the main piece. The little gray piece off to the side is cardboard attachments that you put on the side. Now, as I did my initial research for some MDF, I've never really painted MDF before, but the main thing was I wanted to, see what other people had done. And one of the things that I saw was they said to wipe it down. You can see the difference here between the top one and the bottom one. So just take a damp cloth and wipe that film off. It's kind of a burnt film from the MDF being cut and burnt. So you can see what that comes off. Just a light damp rag and wipe it down. So that's what I did. Here on the main board, you can see on the right hand side, I've done about half of it already, and you can see all the nastiness that I pulled off on the kitchen towel there. And then on the left side that hasn't been done yet. So it makes a big difference when you're cleaning this up to kind of wipe it down first. So a lot of the burn marks and stuff get wiped off. Okay, after that I went ahead and completed the build, everything except for the cardboard pieces. And here's another shot of that. It was actually pretty easy to put together, pretty straightforward, a lot of fun. These are the corner pieces for your larger models. Again, those are all complete and put together. Took it outside and started spray painting it. One of my concerns was whether or not the spray paint would fill in those lines, and it did not. It did a really good job. I used the Army Painter matte white. Make sure you're outside in a well ventilated area. But like I said, the matte white base primer, sweeping motions. Again, we're outside, standing on top of the trash cans actually. And for this, we're just going to, give this a quick coat of the white because I'm using that as my base coat. As you can see, the entire model is put together. That we'll discover was probably the biggest issue. One of the corner pieces already primed. Like I said, I was worried about it filling in those lines, the burnt lines, but it didn't. Army Painter did a great job. It didn't fill those lines in. They stayed dark, which was surprising to me, actually, because like I said, I haven't really worked with MDF. I've built some stuff in the past, but nothing like this that I was actually going to paint. So, spray can, just like you would normally do, sweeping motions. And at this point, I was doing this one-handed, trying to paint and record. And then my son came and took the camera over so I could do this a little bit better. Get on the under edges. You really just want to, get, just like you're painting anything else with spray paint, just, coat it all the way around. I was actually talking when I recorded this, and I'm doing the narration again afterwards because it's just easier for me to talk to it. But you can see that the lines stayed. I ended up giving this another coat because it wasn't really covered well, but you'll see later that the lines all showed up, so it was really cool. Okay, so here we are back in the house. Model has been completed. You can see that, again, the lines stayed dark. There's a little bit of a glare on there. I think I kind of overhit it with some of the paint, but the matte varnish will dull that back down a little bit later. But I was very happy with the way it turned out with the initial priming because all the lines stayed dark, which like I said twice already. That was my biggest concern. And there you have it. The whole thing has been primed white, and we're ready to move on to the painting stage. Okay, so I wanted to have a red border, and I want the stars to be yellow. Now, the rest of it was going to stay white. That was the intent, and that's where we decided that we were just going to, paint the edges red and the stars yellow. So the red, careful, steady hand wasn't so bad. This was pretty straightforward. It takes a couple of coats to get all of it covered. But if you wanted to paint the cardboard pieces any other color, it's probably going to be a little more difficult. Luckily, I wanted them to stay white. They were already white. To do the yellow, we just made sure the yellow was, thinned down quite a bit, put a little blob into the middle, and then just kind of pushed it into the 5 corners of the star. Pretty straightforward, not too difficult. As you can see, it worked out pretty well. Again, just putting a little bit in the middle and then kind of pushing it into place. The hard part was doing that center star. Again, since it's big enough, it wasn't too difficult to do. All I'm doing here is just redarkening up, some of those smaller stars. But again, put it in the center and then gently push it into the 5 corners of the star. Not too difficult. Relatively easy to, make sure that you don't overdo it and get it out on the edge. I got a little bit on the edge, had to use a little bit of the white to touch that back up. But there you go. Okay, now here's where things really started to go south. The whole point was I wanted to get the stars to be yellow underneath, and trying to paint them after painting the blue on the outside or even painting the white on the outside. Actually, I made the mistake. I painted the blue first, then tried to fill in the yellow, and it was just a glorious mess. I'm not going to go into all the details about what a glorious mess it was, but it took forever. It was a massive mess. I had to repaint everything 3 or 4 times. So, in the end, strung the ropes, got it finished. It took a lot longer than it needed to. In the next video, I'll explain how I did the Rumbleslam logo here on the side, but I was pretty much done with it at this point. I had already placed an order for another one because they're only like $23 US, and I was like, you know what, I want to do this again. Learned a lot from my first time, and I was really ready to just start over. But I mean, this one came out okay in the end. I wasn't super happy.